This program is brought to you by Connie Doto of Connie Doto Realty Group, 119 Pleasant Street, Methuen. When you want results, don't make a move without us.
Evening to Connie Doto Realty View. I'd like to introduce our guest here, who's not a stranger to us. He was here a few years ago when we first started our show, Sergeant Jim Gunter, who's going to be talking about safety. This being the month of December, and a lot of people will be out shopping and having a lot of valuables at their home. I thought it was fitting that we have Officer Sergeant Gunter here. Thank you for coming again.
Thanks for having me.
You know, people had requested this again from the last time, so that shows that what you informed the community on was very helpful. And
that's great news.
Yeah. So what we're going to start on today is really, you know, the biggest asset that people have, other than children, obviously, is their home. How would you say that people should really protect their homes?
Well, again, thanks for having me. December is a month where the holidays are coming. People are going to be out Christmas shopping, just getting over the Thanksgiving holiday. So basically, what you want to do is just try to prevent yourself from being an easy victim. That's one of the best ways you can prevent yourself from being a target of a crime. Especially having your house broken into is one of the worst feelings in the world. Unfortunately, we have been responding to a lot of those lately. So basically, the first thing we say is, you know, if you have an alarm system, that's great, but you have to use it. A lot of times we go to house breaks, we talk to the homeowners, they have an alarm, they didn't set it. Or they turned off the motion sensors on certain areas of the house because they have a dog in the house. So if you have an alarm system, use it to the fullest extent possible. If you have to crate your dog in the cellar or something like that. Second thing is make sure all your doors are locked, your windows are locked. A lot of people, for some reason, they will leave, go to work, and forget to lock the back door because they let the dog out before they went to work, and then they leave the door unlocked. Also, with the alarm system, if you have an alarm system, have your alarm company request that it be monitored, and also have an outside audible alarm that tends to scare off the burglars a lot quicker too. If you have neighbors that you can trust, get along with your neighbors, talk to them. A lot of times your neighbors know who should be around your house and who shouldn't. I know in my neighborhood, we have a very good, almost a crime watch neighborhood without having an actual crime watch going on. Everybody knows, and then I've gotten calls when nobody's been at my house, when somebody showed up, hey, there's a car in your driveway, should they be there? And I'll tell them, yeah, that's my electrician going to do some work for me. So get friendly with your neighbors, make sure that they know that you may be away, let them know when you're going to go on vacation, stuff like that.
That's a good point. I will tell you what happened to me the other day. One of my lock boxes that I had on a house got jammed. So I went over to the house, and unfortunately it is a vacant home, and I went over with a screwdriver and a hammer. And I parked my car, walked in, I'm like, and there was a neighbor outside. And I'm like, okay, they're going to call the police on me. I said, because I'm walking up to this house with, did not call the police.
Really?
And I almost went up to him and said, listen, I'm trying to just to unlock my lock box.
Correct.
But, you know, he just
So
kind of
in your
ignored
neighborhood,
it.
you would want somebody to call
Absolutely.
the police if somebody's doing that to your house.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we try to tell people, you're not a bother if you call. We'd rather you call. We get there, and we've had realtors have problems getting into houses before. So we'd rather they call, we get out there, check it out, make sure nothing's going on.
Right.
And that's what we're here for. We're working already. There's already police officers on the street. So we'd rather you call the number, 978-983-8698, and just let them know that's the non-emergency line. You'll talk to a dispatcher, let them know you see something suspicious. Because we definitely, house breaks are something that we seriously try to deter, and we definitely want to catch the people that are doing it.
We're talking about alarms. Like you said, if people don't use them, they're not effective, obviously.
We have been to house breaks where they have not, they have them, but they were not armed, which it defeats the purpose of having an alarm system. Some other ways you can protect yourself, especially around this time, is to at nighttime put in motion lights, especially towards entrances, like garage door entrances, entrances to your front door, your back door, all motion sensors. And they can have different settings, so they won't come on if like a small animal goes by. Just something like a human being would set them off.
Right.
Some other things to protect yourself as well is to make sure you identify any valuable items you have inside your house. Take pictures of them, write down the serial numbers, log them all.
That's a good idea.
Any personal important paperwork, we suggest that you buy one of those fire boxes, place those in there. God forbid there's a fire in the house, you still have those documents as well. You know, a dog. Sometimes people that have dogs, we talked about crating them. If you want to crate them in the living room, somebody bark. I know my dog's crated in the living room. It would bark even if somebody comes to the door. Therefore, it would try to scare somebody away. Yep. Excuse me. So twice a year, we recommend that you go around your house, take a look around your house, get one of your neighbors to and say, hey, how would you, if you were a burglar, how would you break into my house? Have your neighbor go around with you and look at your house and see what he says. He might come up with some ideas or say some things that, you know, hey, I would maybe do something here. I'd trim these bushes back so they're not so high over this window. That way, if somebody in the front sees somebody behind these bushes, they could call the police. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Make sure that all your lights work, your motion lights do work if you do install them. So those are some of the things you can do. If you do have a security code on your an alarm, or you have a garage door security thing to get into the garage, we suggest you change that code if you've given it out 2 or 3 times. That way, just by chance, somebody does accidentally give it away or something, that changes, and you can protect yourself that way as well.
Right, that's a good idea. I mean, even, you know, with passwords, they always say computers and so forth, change it every 3 months. So that might be a good tidbit for people to walk away with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In terms of alarms, we talked a bit about alarms. What would you say is the best alarm system?
Well, as we spoke before, the best alarm system, the one that's turned on. You have to use the alarm, but you definitely want to try to have one that's monitored, because if you have, some people do have alarms, they're not monitored, so they might notify you by your phone, but the monitored ones will contact the police department, let us know that there's an alarm going on while maybe you're at work, you're in a meeting, you left your phone in your office, so the alarm company tries to call you. They'll also call the police department. We'll send units over to check the house out. And like I said, the audible is a key factor. We find that houses that are alarmed with the outside audible alarms, the perpetrators won't even go in the house. Once they hear that audible outside, they will take off running.
And with the way the local economy is, I mean, we know we're you know, on the upswing at this point, but for the past few years, it's been, you know, a difficult time for people. I mean, have you seen an increase in?
We did see an increase with the house breaks, a lot of shoplifting things. The crime did increase. We believe it's starting to level off, but there is an epidemic right now with drugs that we're combating in the Merrimack Valley area, where you know, people can't get their drugs. They get on the low end that they'll do their purse snatchings, they'll rob banks, and they will break into houses or cars to pawn the stuff off to feed their habit.
Again, this being the Christmas season, and like you said, people are looking for money, and people go shopping.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, whether it be at a shopping mall or bringing gifts into a home, you know, that's a prime time for people to start
yes. Well,
doing.
One of the other things too is when you do go Christmas shopping, we recommend to the women, don't carry large purses. Try to carry maybe a fanny pack or a handbag, and if you can get it under your coat, put your purse on first, put your coat over it. We don't recommend that you carry all your cash in one spot, just in case you are a victim of somebody trying to steal your purse. We recommend that if you can, use the credit cards. I know that a lot of the elderly do not like credit cards. They like to use the cash.
Right.
Do not take all your cash out when you're buying items. Don't go to the register and open up your billfold and have $1,000 worth of cash there. Try to minimize what people can see. Another thing too is people go from place to place when they're Christmas shopping, they leave the Christmas gifts in the bags right in the back seat or the front seat of the car. We recommend.
I think we've all been guilty of that, including myself.
Well, we recommend if you can, put them in your trunk, and then if you can't do that, then you should hopefully just go home, put them away, and then go back out. Because you don't know how many people that have lost Christmas presents. Speaking of that, another thing is that if you're not at home at night, a lot of people like to leave their Christmas tree on. just to show off the Christmas tree. You know, my suggestion is you don't do that, especially if you're not home, because people will peer in your windows if they see all the presents. You know, you don't want your house broken into and then they steal your presents. We have had house breaks where they've actually went in and stole all the Christmas presents under the tree.
Jeez. That's when the desperate get desperate.
Correct.
You know, that's unfortunate, especially at a holiday time that, you know, it's supposed to be joyous, and unfortunately that we do see that. So, you know, you hear, like you said, people have to watch with their purses.
Yes.
You know, even as far as, you know, with some of the things with pumping gas.
Yes,
I've heard
correct.
that's
Yep. Yeah, sometimes now what's happening at gas stations are that women are getting out to pump gas and they're leaving their door open or they're leaving the door unlocked. They're leaving their purse in the front seat, which you would think that you're pumping the gas, that your purse is right there. Well, there are people that see that. They walk up to the car, that see that there's a female pumping the gas. They see the purse. They reach in through the open door or they open up the passenger door. They take the purse and they run. Sometimes the woman pumping gas doesn't even know that her purse has been taken. She doesn't even realize it until she goes to put her credit card away or she gets home.
right, which is, I mean, people need to be real cautious of that.
Yep.
Another thing being holidays or any time, if people are going on vacation, I mean, we know with social media, again, I know we talked about this last time on the show, but it's just such a profound
Everything's
problem.
social media nowadays, and it can be used for good things. I know that our chief uses the social media to get the word out to the public. Missing Alzheimer's patients, missing children, he gets it out. Excuse me. We have a thing on the website. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about tonight is on the City of Methuen website, and you can go to the police department section, and it'll bring up stuff under certain things like the forms that we're talking about. If you go on the social media, though, you have to be careful what you put on there. Social media is instant. When you tweet something or you go on Facebook and you post something on Facebook, it's immediate. Your friends can see it. So if you tweet that you're at the beach for the day and somebody's friend of a friend of a friend knows that you're not home, you know, it may not be your friend or your friend's friend, but it could be a friend of a friend of a friend who has bad intentions and knows that nobody's home at your house, so they may know where you live. You know, we tend to tell them, don't put that you're in Hawaii for a week. It just, you know, it's just that you just don't know who actually can see your page.
Right.
It's a shame, but social media is immediate, so we recommend that you don't put, you know, where you're at if you're going on vacation. But if you do go on vacation, we actually have a form. It's online, or you can get it at the police station. It's a property check form, and it's a pretty in-depth form that will explain when you're going away, who would be at the house, who should be at the house, if anybody's going to come check on animals, if you're going to have a TV on, if you're going to have lights on, and then we have the area card check on the house on a regular basis. And it's just a good tool to use when you're on vacation.
I bet a lot of people don't know about that. That's
it's
pretty,
on the website.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that people will go by, the police will go by and check on your home. That's great. I mean, that's
one of the services that we definitely provide, and like I said, it's on the city website. Yeah. And the form, I printed one here, but it's definitely on the website. Yep.
How many people requests do you get?
We get a bunch. A lot of people do that. We have they call them the snowbirds. A lot of them will do it, and they'll fill that out while they go down to Florida for the winter time. And my suggestion is, if you do something like that and you do go away for the winter, still have somebody plow out your driveway. You don't want somebody to see all the snow piled up and think know that it's a vacant home, nobody's using it.
Right.
We did have a rash of people breaking in and stealing all the copper pipes out of houses. Being in real estate, you may have had that happen to one of your houses that has not been being lived in. So, and also make sure if you're going to go on vacation to have somebody either grab your mail or put a hold on your mail. And like I said, if you can trust a neighbor, let them know you're on vacation to keep an eye on the house as well. All that in addition to the form, you can, hopefully feel comfortable going away and not worrying about somebody breaking into your house.
Again, you keep talking about neighbors watching over your home, and I know there's a specific program, because I did go to your...
The Crimewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of those in the city of Methuen, and basically what the Crimewatch is where a group of residents that live in a same neighborhood get together. They decide they can have monthly meetings, they can have meetings every 3 months. It depends on what the group wants. And what it is it's just that everybody in the neighborhood decides that they're going to keep an eye out for each other. They're going to make a commitment to report any suspicious activity. They also get together for cookouts. They participate in National Night Out. So it's just a big community. It's a good thing that you have in the community. And normally you have a crime. We call them Crimewatch captains. They're normally the person that leads the crime watch for the neighborhood, and they're normally the point of contact for anything. And if you have meetings that you want the police or the fire to attend, we'll come out and speak at the meetings. If you think there's problems that you want to discuss with the police department, we'll come out, we address those. And it's just a good back and forth, a way to communicate with the community and get back involved with it.
That's great. And again, I think a lot of people, we see the police in the community. I mean, I see you driving around and, you know, keeping your eye on what's happening there. But I think it's important to have that dialogue, as you said, you know, with certain local neighborhoods to help them be the watchers, the crime watchers of the community. So that's great. It's another added set of eyes that are out there.
Yep, absolutely.
What's your thought on children being home?
Well,
unattended by adults. I mean,
Yep. It was tough for me when my kids were getting older. What age should you let them stay home alone, let them have a little independence, or also so you could get out and have a little bit of independence yourself away from them. But you know, it depends on how comfortable you feel your kids are going to be at handling situations that may arise when you're not there. Number one, you know, everybody has the cell phones now. Most kids do. I know second, third graders have cell phones. So the main thing is you have to feel comfortable to know if your child's home alone, a situation comes up, that they're going to be able to either call 911 in an emergency or call you if something comes up and they're not comfortable with it. What we recommend is, you know, tell them if the phone rings, the house phone, they don't recognize the number, don't answer it. If somebody comes to the door, don't answer it. If they're not expecting anybody, to call the parent and find out. We don't even ask them to look out a window so they could be seen by somebody. If they're home alone, you know, just don't answer the door, call a parent. Or have a neighbor. If you have a neighbor that lives across the street from you who can just say, hey, can your son or daughter call them if you're not home, you're out of town, you're out to dinner, they can call you, but in the meantime, they could call the neighbor and just say, hey, somebody's knocking on the front door, can you look out and see who it is? They may recognize the person. Excuse me. Another thing that we say is that, you know, if they believe something's going on, to call 911. We don't want the kids to be afraid to call 911. So if for some reason somebody's banging on the front door and then all of a sudden they're banging on the back door, if they feel scared, then they should call 911 and we'll get right out there and see what's going on. But like I said, it all depends on if the parents are comfortable enough to leave their children home and that they can handle a situation.